Before we start, please make sure to like this video and hit this subscribe button, so you never miss a story like this. And also comments where you are watching from, how many sons and daughters you have. Thanks.
People who forget where they came from eventually lose where they're going. Never underestimate the one who stayed silent. They might be holding everything you threw away. My name is Diane Matthews. I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and the day my son got married was the day I realized I'd raised a stranger. You weren't even invited. What are you doing here? That's how it started, with my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, Madison, standing at the top of the spiral staircase in her overpriced designer heels, screaming down at me like I was some intruder. Her voice bounced off the marble walls of the estate I used to scrub clean with my bare hands, and yet here she was, acting like I didn't belong. I stayed still, clutching my handbag tight inside it. The original copy of the letter that could change everything. But I didn't come to change anything, not today. I just came to watch. Quietly. Madison stormed closer, her perfectly painted face twisting with rage. Seriously, Diane, this is my wedding. Not your little pity party. My family paid for every inch of this day, so go sit in the back where you belong, or better yet, just leave. Behind her, I could see my son Brandon, my only child, my baby who used to sleep on my chest when he had nightmares. He stood there in his custom tuxedo, adjusting his cufflinks like he didn't hear a thing, like I wasn't standing there being humiliated, like I wasn't his mother. I locked eyes with him. Brandon, I said, calm but firm, do you really want me to leave? He sighed. Mom, please, this isn't the time. No, Madison snapped. This isn't about what she wants. This is my day, Brandon. You already let her ruin the rehearsal dinner by showing up in that Goodwill dress. It wasn't from Goodwill, I said, finally stepping forward. It was the last gift your father gave me before he passed. But I guess that doesn't matter in your version of the world. She scoffed. Oh please. That man left you with nothing but bills and a broken-down house. I don't know why you cling to that fantasy like he was some great provider. I looked at her, this girl who thought diamonds made her royalty and silence made me irrelevant. But what Madison didn't know, what Brandon forgot, was that their perfect little future sat on a lie. A lie I'd been guarding for nearly 7 years. One I never planned to speak out loud, not until today, because the truth. Their broke, washed-up, sad little mom was sitting on a $50 million inheritance, and I never said a word. I could feel the heat rise in my face, but I didn't cry, I didn't yell. I didn't slap that smug little smile off her face even though God knows I wanted to. I just breathed. My husband, Brandon's father, built a business from nothing. He didn't come from money. He came from sweat, long hours, and burnt dinners because he missed every anniversary chasing a dream. And when that dream finally paid off, he left us everything. Me. Brandon, not some shallow woman in a white dress who only saw value in Rolexes and Ritz-Carltons. But before he died, he asked me for one thing. Don't give him the money too soon, Dee, he whispered, barely audible under the oxygen mask. Make sure he earns it. Make sure he remembers who he is. And I agreed. I set it aside. The lawyers knew. The will was airtight. The money was locked in trust. Until Brandon turned 30, or until he did something honorable with his life, but he didn't. He dropped out of college to chase clout. He left me behind in the old house while he moved in with Madison's family in their mini mansion. He never asked how I paid the heating bill in winter, never sent flowers on my birthday, never said thank you. And now he was marrying a woman who saw me as dirt under her stilettos. So yeah, I came to the wedding, but not to beg, I came to watch. Watch how far they'd fallen, without even realizing. Madison, I said quietly. I'm not here to ruin your day, I just wanted to witness it, that's all. You've already made a scene, she snapped. Everyone is staring, let them stare, I replied. Let them see how you treat the woman who raised the man you're about to marry. That shut her up. For a second, then she laughed, cold and sharp. You didn't raise him, Diane. You kept him poor. You held him back. Brandon deserves to be around people who actually have something to offer, not someone still driving a car from the 90s. I smiled. It wasn't fake. It was the kind of smile that comes right before a secret explodes like dynamite. You're right, I said. I guess I have nothing to offer, except maybe the deed to that house you live in, or the copyrights to Brandon's father's startup. Or maybe even the offshore accounts that you think belong to your daddy but actually, I stopped, looked her straight in the eye. Don't worry. I won't say another word. After all, this is your day. Madison's face dropped. She looked at Brandon. What the hell is she talking about? Brandon frowned. Mom, what are you talking about? I shrugged. Nothing. Just memories. I'll take my seat in the back. I turned, walked slowly, proudly, past the rows of fake smiles and whispered gossip. But in that moment, for the first time in years, I didn't feel small. I felt powerful. Because sometimes the one who keeps quiet the longest is the one holding all the power. Call to action. If someone's ever made you feel like you weren't enough, stay quiet, but don't stay small. Let them laugh now, let them brag, because one day the truth will walk in, and their world will never be the same. Keep watching, the real wedding hasn't even started yet. I sat down at the very last row of the wedding tent, right beside a heater they'd brought in for the chill. Funny, really, all that money for this grand outdoor wedding. And they forgot it still gets cold in October. Nobody looked at me, not directly. Just quick, guilty glances. The kind you shoot at a car crash but pretend you didn't see. Across the aisle, I saw Madison's mother lean into her husband and whisper, loud enough for me to hear. Why didn't security escort her out? And he replied, without even lowering his voice, because technically, she's still family, for now. I didn't flinch. Let them talk. Let them plot. That's the thing about being underestimated for too long. It becomes your biggest weapon. They all thought I was just some sad, lonely widow who barely scraped enough to buy a dress for her only child's wedding. What they didn't know was that I paid for the tent they were sitting under. I covered half the wedding expenses anonymously through a holding company that owned the event planner they hired. The rose wall, mine. The champagne, mine. The violinists playing softly behind the altar, my late husband's favorite quartet. Booked by me. Not because I was generous. Because I wanted to see what they'd do when they thought I had nothing to give. The ceremony began. Soft music played. Bridesmaids in pastel blue dresses floated down the aisle. Groomsmen strutted in their tailored suits, puffed up with money they didn't earn and confidence they didn't deserve. And then came Brandon. My son. I stared at him. This grown man in a custom tuxedo, flashing that rehearsed smile as he waited under the floral arch. He looked so happy, so proud, so far from the little boy who used to help me fold laundry in our crumbling apartment when his dad was still alive. I remember the night his father died. Brandon was 22. Barely starting college. I called him from the hospital. He didn't pick up. He was at a party. Madison posted the pictures the next morning. Red Solo cups, loud music, and my son dancing like the world hadn't just shattered. I never blamed him. Not really. He was young, scared, in love. But I saw then what I had never seen before. He was already slipping away. Madison walked down the aisle, all fake tears and sparkling arrogance. People turned to admire her gown, a couture design, imported from Italy, chosen to honor her future status. That's all she cared about. And Brandon. He saw her as a trophy, a ticket to the world he thought he deserved. They didn't even ask me to walk down the aisle, not even as the mother of the groom. But you know what hurt the most? They didn't ask me to say a single word. Not a speech, not a toast, not a blessing. As if I was already dead. The vows began. Madison gushed about building a legacy, carving out a dynasty, and how Brandon gave her the stability she always dreamed of. I bit my tongue. If only she knew where that stability really came from. Brandon's vows were worse. Not a single mention of his father, not a single word about the sacrifices we made so he could have this moment. He thanked Madison's parents. He thanked their financial advisor. He even thanked the golf club that helped him grow into a man. I felt the tears coming, but I didn't let them fall. I just sat there straight, silent, watching. They kissed. Everyone clapped, fireworks went off behind them. And I got up and left before the echo faded. Because the party wasn't over. Not yet. Not by a long shot. I didn't go home. Not right away. While the rest of the guests were sipping champagne and lining up at the photo booth with feather boas and $sign sunglasses. I sat in my car just down the hill, overlooking the venue. The autumn wind rattled the branches above me. It was quiet here, The kind of quiet you don't realize you miss until it's gone. Asterisk I pulled the letter from my bag. The envelope was soft from being folded and refolded so many times it practically melted into my hands. My husband's handwriting stared back at me, strong, clean, confident. Asterisk to my son Brandon. On the day he becomes a man, asterisk he was supposed to open it on his 25th birthday. That was what his father wanted, but Brandon never showed up that day. He was too busy flying to Cabo with Madison for her quarter-life crisis trip. I waited at home, with a cake and the letter, asterisk he never came, asterisk so I kept it, asterisk and I never told him what was inside. Asterisk inside the envelope were 3 things, asterisk 1, a handwritten letter from his father, the final words from a man who gave everything to build our life, asterisk 2, a signed transfer of ownership, granting Brandon 51% of his father's real estate company. Matthews Legacy Holdings. Asterisk 3, a trust document, giving Brandon full access to the $50 million estate his father left behind, on one condition, asterisk that he finish college, asterisk that he live at least 1 year debt-free, without asking for help, asterisk that he show his mother kindness and honor her in the biggest moment of his life. Asterisk he failed all 3, asterisk Madison thought her family's money built this wedding. Brandon believed he had networked his way into success, asterisk but the truth, asterisk Brandon had been living off monthly deposits I made anonymously, enough to make him feel rich. But not so much that he'd suspect. I let him believe the world owed him everything, just to see if he'd ever remember who gave him his first dollar, asterisk he never did, asterisk but today was his last chance, asterisk I stood up, brushed the leaves off my coat, and drove back to the venue. The reception was in full swing, laughter, lights, toasts clinking, a dance floor full of Madison's friends posing for stories, reels, and fake memories they'd forget in a week, asterisk I walked in through the side entrance. No one saw me at first. I moved between shadows like I belonged, because I did. I wasn't just a guest, I was the ghost in the walls of this day, the foundation beneath it, asterisk the DJ called out, all right, folks, it's time for the toasts, starting with the maid of honor, asterisk I saw her, Madison's best friend, take the mic, gushing about their years of shared eyelash appointments and emotional healing brunches, asterisk next came Brandon's best man, his business partner, Liam, the same guy who once told Brandon in front of me, bro, your mom gives off serious thrift store energy, asterisk they laughed like it was funny, and I laughed too, back then, quietly, because I already knew who owned their office building, asterisk then the DJ announced. And now, if the groom's mother would like to say a few words, asterisk the whole room paused, asterisk I hadn't been on the program, asterisk but someone with a conscience had slipped my name onto the cue card, asterisk all heads turned, Madison froze mid-bite. Brandon looked like someone had smacked him across the face with a cold fish, asterisk I stepped forward, slowly, calmly. Asterisk and then I took the mic, asterisk hi, I said. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Diane Matthews, I'm Brandon's mother, asterisk polite applause, uneasy, confused, asterisk I wasn't going to speak tonight, wasn't asked to, wasn't expected to, and that's fine. I've spent a lot of my life not being seen, not being heard. So I've learned how to listen instead, asterisk I looked at Brandon. He looked away. Asterisk I listened when you said I was embarrassing. I listened when you told Madison that you wished I'd stay home and let real parents be part of your life. I listened when you didn't show up for your father's funeral, or his birthday, or the day he died. Holding your name in his hands, asterisk the room was silent. Asterisk Madison's fork clinked against her plate as it dropped, asterisk I pulled the letter from my coat pocket, gently, slowly. I held it up for all to see, asterisk this is the letter your father left for you, Brandon, the one I was supposed to give you 7 years ago, the one I waited to deliver, because you never came home, asterisk I stepped closer. Put the letter on the table in front of him, asterisk it contains everything he wanted to give you, everything you thought you earned on your own, the money, the company, the life you think you built, you were handed the keys before you even knew how to open the door, asterisk Brandon's face went pale. Asterisk Madison looked like she'd been slapped. Asterisk but he didn't just leave you money, I said, he left you expectations. He asked that you finish what you started, that you show kindness to the woman who raised you, that you stand tall. But remember who taught you to walk, asterisk I smiled, one Last time, asterisk you failed him, but lucky for you, I didn't asterisk and then I walked away, asterisk just like that asterisk. Asterisk you could hear a pin drop after I walked off that stage. Asterisk no music, no applause, just stunned silence and the buzz of people realizing they'd been sitting in a lie. Asterisk I didn't look back. I walked straight through the reception hall, out the side doors and down toward the garden path that led to the valet circle. I didn't need to stay for the chaos. I already knew what was coming, asterisk but fate had other plans. Asterisk I had barely made it 20 feet past the flower arch when I heard heavy footsteps chasing after me. Then asterisk mom, wait asterisk Brandon's voice, desperate now, not the polished, performative tone he'd used all day. This was raw, cracked, real asterisk I stopped, but I didn't turn around, not yet. Asterisk he ran in front of me, panting, tuxedo jacket, unbuttoned, booty hanging loose around his neck like the whole costume had finally fallen apart. Asterisk is it true? He asked. Everything you said in there, was that real? Asterisk I looked him straight in the eyes. Did it sound like a lie? Asterisk he shook his head. No, but $50 million, a trust. Why wouldn't you tell me? Asterisk I let out a slow tired breath. Asterisk I waited, Brandon, for 7 years. I waited for you to come home, to ask about your father, to remember. I didn't tell you because it wasn't meant to be a gift. It was meant to be an honor, and you don't hand honor to someone who walks past their mother like she's a stranger in their story. Asterisk his face crumpled. Asterisk I didn't know. He whispered, I thought Dad left us with nothing. Asterisk no, I said sharply. You left me with nothing. Asterisk his mouth opened, maybe to defend himself, maybe to lie, but before he could speak, again, a shrill voice echoed from behind us. Asterisk so that's it? You're just giving him everything? And what? I'm supposed to pretend you didn't just ambush our wedding like some bitter, asterisk Madison, asterisk she stormed down the path toward us, heels stabbing into the grass like she was trying to kill the earth itself. Asterisk you think some dusty letter gives you the right to ruin my life? She screamed. You embarrassed me, you humiliated Brandon. Asterisk Brandon turned, stunned. Madison, asterisk no Brandon, don't defend her, she snapped. She's been bitter from the start. You told me she was broke, you said she barely had rent money. Asterisk I smiled. I let you believe that. Asterisk her eyes narrowed. Asterisk that's impossible. Your clothes, your house, asterisk are paid off in full. The house you mocked, it's historic. The car a classic, and the clothes I wore. I stepped closer, calm as ever. They were humble on purpose, because I needed to see who you were when you thought I was beneath you. Asterisk Madison blinked. Then her face twisted with fury. You manipulative witch, you set us up. Asterisk no, I said coolly. You exposed yourselves. I just gave you the mirror. Asterisk Brandon was shaking now. His voice soft. Asterisk Madison did you ever actually love me? Asterisk she laughed. Oh, come on Brandon, don't be naive. You were fun, you had potential, you knew the right people, looked the part. But let's be real, if I wanted some broke mama's boy I could have stayed in college. Asterisk and there it was. Asterisk the truth. Asterisk ugly, brutal, and exactly what I had seen from day one. Asterisk Brandon took a step back, like he'd been hit in the chest. You used me. Asterisk no, babe. I bet on you, but clearly the stock just crashed. Asterisk she turned to me again, all venom. Asterisk I hope you're happy. You destroyed your son's marriage before it even began. Asterisk I tilted my head. No Madison, you destroyed it. I just handed you the mic. Asterisk she stormed off, muttering curses under her breath, her train snagging on a bush as she stomped up the hill. A bridesmaid chased after her, stilettos sinking into the grass. Asterisk and just like that, the wedding was over. Asterisk Brandon sank onto a bench, burying his face in his hands. Asterisk I don't even know who I am anymore. He said. Asterisk you're my son, I said. And that still means something, but who you become from this moment, that's up to you. Asterisk he looked up slowly. Asterisk do I still get the trust? Asterisk I hesitated, then sat down beside him. Asterisk eventually. But not because you're owed it, because your father believed in the man you could be. You still have time to become him, but you'll earn it the hard way, just like he did. Asterisk Brandon nodded, tears welling. Asterisk I'm sorry mom. Asterisk I smiled, brushing a lock of his hair the way I used to when he was 5 and scared of thunder. Asterisk then come home, start from there. Asterisk 3 days later, Brandon showed up at my doorstep with a duffel bag. No entourage, no designer watch, no Madison. Just him. He looked smaller somehow. Like the weight of everything he thought he was had been peeled off, layer by layer. I opened the door, already expecting him. I don't have anywhere else to go, he said, his voice low. You do now, I answered, stepping aside. Come in. The house smelled like cinnamon and old wood. Same as it always did. Same as it did when his father built that staircase with his own hands. When Brandon used to race down it in his superhero pajamas, yelling he'd save the world before breakfast. Now, he couldn't even save himself, but that was okay. This wasn't a story about punishment. It was about beginning again. The next few weeks were quiet. Brandon slept in his old room. No social media, no parties, no calls from Madison. She was already posting from St. Bart's, healing with her influencer circle, pretending none of this ever happened. She'd moved on, like all gold diggers do, jumping from one shiny branch to the next. But Brandon didn't chase her. He worked. Not flashy work, real work. He mowed the lawn, painted the garage door, helped our elderly neighbor carry groceries. For the first time since he was a teenager, he cooked for me, nothing fancy, just grilled cheese, tomato soup, but it meant something. I didn't talk about the money, not once. I didn't bring up the company, or the trust, or the will. I let him show me who he was. And slowly, that boy I'd raised, he started coming back. Then, one morning, he came down to breakfast, tie-clipped, shirt pressed, papers in hand. I want to work at Dad's company, he said, setting them down in front of me. But I don't want to be the owner, not yet, I want to earn it. I raised an eyebrow. You sure you're ready for that? He nodded. I want to start in the field from the bottom like he did. I smiled, proud but cautious. People will look at you sideways, call you the rich kid cosplaying humility. Then I'll let them, he said, I'll let them talk while I work. And with that, I handed him the key. Not to the vault. To the job site. Because my husband didn't build an empire to make Brandon rich. He built it to make him ready. At the construction site. Brandon showed up on time, wore the hard hat, carried supplies, got calluses on hands that had only ever lifted cocktails and golf clubs. Some workers mocked him, others tested him. One old foreman even dumped a pile of concrete near his boots and dared him to shovel it by sundown. He didn't complain. He shoveled until sunset. That night, he came home drenched in dust, grinning. Dad would have loved that guy, he said, hard as nails. Doesn't care who your daddy was. No, I replied. He only cares who you are. Word spread, quietly, but steadily. The entitled kid had changed. Clients who once rolled their eyes when Brandon's name was mentioned now called him Matthews Jr. With respect, he started shadowing meetings, learning about land acquisition, zoning laws, construction delays. He stopped trying to rebrand everything, started listening. Then, one day, he came home with a blueprint. I want to build something, he said, not just for profit, something that matters. I looked at the paper. It was a plan for low-income family housing, modern units, with community gardens, after-school spaces, job training centers. My friends won't get it, he admitted. They'll laugh. Let them, I said. They laughed at your father too. The project got approved. 6 months later, it opened its doors. Brandon didn't cut the ribbon. He handed the scissors to a single mother who'd been living out of her car with 2 kids. She cried when they stepped into their unit. He cried too. And me? I stood in the back row again. But this time, he found me. He walked over, took my hand in front of the cameras, and said, this is the woman who built me. This is the woman who waited when I didn't show up. I lost my way. But she waited at the gate, and because of that, I found home again. 1 year to the day after that disastrous wedding, Brandon came home early from the site. His hands were still dusty from drywall, his boots tracked in mud. But his smile, it was clean, calm. The kind of peace a man wears when he's no longer pretending. He placed a single envelope on the kitchen table. My envelope, the one I had kept locked away for so long. I'm ready, he said softly. I poured 2 cups of coffee. No fanfare, no dramatic music, just mother and son, just truth. Asterisk. He slid the envelope toward me. Whether I get it or not, I'm grateful. You didn't owe me this. And I sure didn't deserve it for a long time. Asterisk. I stared at him for a moment. Really looked at him. Gone was the boy who chased status. Gone was the man who left me behind for chandeliers and surface-level praise. This man. Asterisk. This was his father's son. Asterisk. Asterisk. I reached for the drawer, pulled out a small lockbox, and opened it with a key I'd worn around my neck for years. Asterisk. Inside were 3 things. Asterisk. The original trust document. Asterisk. The transfer of ownership. Asterisk. And a brand new letter, written by me. Asterisk. I handed him all 3. Asterisk. But before he opened them, I said, asterisk. There's something else you should know. Asterisk. He looked up, curious, nervous. Asterisk. When your father died, I didn't just inherit money, I inherited control. Control over the company, the land, the stocks, the trusts, all of it. But I also inherited responsibility, legacy, that's heavier than gold. Brandon. And sometimes it means doing what's right, not what's fair. Asterisk. He nodded. I understand. Asterisk. Good, I said, because I'm not giving you the inheritance. Asterisk. His smile faltered. You're not. Asterisk. No, I said, calmly, I'm signing it over, because you've already earned it. Asterisk. And with that, I placed the pen in his hand. Asterisk. He stared at it, frozen. Asterisk. On one condition, I added. Asterisk. He looked up. Asterisk. You don't use it for power. You use it for purpose. You remember where you came from, even when you rise higher than I ever did. You protect what we built, and you never, ever forget who built it with you. Asterisk. Brandon stood, tears in his eyes. Asterisk. He didn't say anything. Asterisk. He just reached across the table and hugged me like he did when he was 5 and afraid of losing me. Asterisk. And in that moment, the weight of 10 broken years disappeared. Asterisk. Asterisk. 6 months later. Asterisk. A new building rose in Lexington, a community center named the Matthews Foundation, built on the exact land Brandon once mocked as worthless. It offered free daycare, job training, food distribution, and college prep for underprivileged families. Asterisk. Brandon didn't just run the company now. He led it, humbly, quietly, authentically. Asterisk. He married again. This time, to a woman who worked as a teacher. No designer gown, no ballroom fireworks, just a small backyard, a handwritten vow, and one simple request. Asterisk. Will you sit in the front row this time, Mom? Asterisk. I did. Asterisk. And I cried. Asterisk. But this time, it wasn't because I'd lost my son. Asterisk. It was because I'd finally gotten him back. Asterisk. Asterisk. If someone has forgotten your worth. Asterisk. If they've mistaken your silence for weakness. Asterisk. If they've left you behind in search of something louder, flashier, shinier. Asterisk. Don't chase them. Asterisk. Stand tall. Stay kind, stay quiet if you must. Asterisk. Because one day, the very people who wrote you off, asterisk, will realize you were the chapter they never understood. Asterisk. And the foundation they couldn't live without. Asterisk.